So I have a big soft spot for NASCAR homologation specials. So this is a Mercury Cale Yarborough special, and Cale Yarborough, one of my favorite drivers. The Mercury Cyclone. They did a Dan Gurney as well, I think, and that was blue and white. But the Cale Yarborough was this red and white, and it was their version of an aerodynamic special car for NASCAR track. So this is the Mercury. So remember, you had Ford, you had Mercury, that was their mid-level division. These things were, I don't think they get the love that the Daytona Chargers and our Charger Daytonas, I'm sorry to say it right, they do, but they're such cool cars. So this is like a 69, I think. This is a Torino Talladega. So this is the Ford version of it. And, you know, Charger Daytona, Torino Talladega. Just a good looking aerodynamic car. And, you know, they go, what's funny is, like, you had this group of vehicles in the 60s. They called it the Aero Wars. And see, like Aero Warriors, right? And then it kind of started a little bit in the 80s. You had your Chevy Monte Carlo SS's, you have your Pontiac 2+2s. And those were kind of like your last Aero special editions. So this is a 68 Torino. God, I love this car. Love the color. What about that blue, Rose? Rapid blue? No, it's grabber blue. So they had it first. It's a little darker. It's almost like a voodoo blue on a Toyota today. So, but then there's more over here. Another Cyclone spoiler. Okay, there's the Dan Gurney. So I said you had your Cale Yarborough. You got your Dan Gurney in blue. So I would imagine that's a dark blue. It's a pretty dark blue, like the blue interior. I mean, it'd be kind of fun to have one of each. I'm not doing that, but look how pretty. I mean, it's a good look. What's nice about these cars is not only did they build them to homologate the car, but they also made them look good. And that's what, you know, just the paint line on here. You know, the interiors, you had the red, the blue, red there, the blue there. Then you had your Cyclone GTs. You had a little later, so like 69, and this is probably, I think, 70 on here. And you know, you had your annual changes, and you know, but Cyclone GT. So what a pretty vehicle. And I do love when, you know, this was NASCAR, when NASCAR was really race on Sunday, sell on Monday, and they kind of perfected the style of the cars. They always kind of wanted option packages and bigger engines and better brakes and all that. But then, you know, in the late 60s, you got into them, and early 70s, you got into them saying, hey, I want to go ahead and make sure that these cars are even a little more special and had a better advantage. So, you know, Chrysler was not the only company doing that. Certainly we're probably the most extreme, but maybe not. You know, the debates are, you know, these were very successful cars, these Mercuries and the Fords. So kind of fun. And I'll have one at the Chrysler show with the Charger Daytonas and the Superbirds. And that story in and of itself it's one of those stories that is almost cinematic. And, you know, and these Aero Wars, this is what, you know, NASCAR, if you ever watch this is what you need to do a special on what happened with these cars and the politics and all the stuff going on. And we're talking late 60s. We're landing on the moon, protests all through the country. And this was happening as well with aerodynamics and power and, struggle between the drivers and the owner of NASCAR and the manufacturers. Very fascinating stuff. So, that Ford versus Ferrari kind of thing, this was the more domestic version of that in the United States, and interesting stuff. So if you like that kind of stuff, there's some really good books to read on it. A lot more knowledgeable people than I, but I am fascinated by this era, the NASCAR homologation era, which late 60s, and then, you had the mid 80s where it came back. So thanks for watching. I'll have some other videos from here. I have my Bronco up here, if you know that Bronco, if you watch my channel. But check these things out, and have a great day.